Ladies and gentlemen of the Drop It family, welcome to episode 65 of the Drop It podcast. Really excited for this podcast episode. It's one that is going to absolutely change your perspective on food and on sustainable weight loss forever. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo. I lost 110 pounds in 2019, have kept the weight off for 6 years after losing and gaining back 50 plus pounds every single year from 2013 to 2019 on every diet that you, me, or anyone in the world has ever heard or ever tried. In 2019, I built a diet for myself called the Common Sense Diet, and I put myself through what I call the Common Sense Diet system. This is what has led to me having a healthy relationship with food and making permanent, sustainable lifestyle changes over time. So I've done the mindset work, the lifestyle work, and also the food practicality, non-obsessive work. This is a requirement if you want to actually keep the weight off. Weight loss is extremely disinteresting to me. I don't give a fuck about weight loss. All I care about is the sustainability of the results. So if it's your first time here, this podcast is really made for people that have already been there, done that, and tried these diets that we actually kind of know while doing it aren't actually sustainable. And this is specifically made for people that are ready to lose weight and actually keep the weight off. So if you haven't really tried losing weight before, it's not that this podcast won't be helpful. It's just that this message isn't really geared towards you. It might make sense to just go try some of the mainstream stuff first so that you can learn and see that it doesn't work for 99% of people, which is why we all gain the weight back. I've dedicated my life to helping people through the same journey that I went through selfishly because it makes me feel not like shit about all of the time that I wasted obsessed about food and wondering what my life would be like if I just lost weight and actually kept it off. So it brings me great pleasure. My greatest pride in life is reading messages like what I'm going to read you from my client Lack Minnie, who I've been working with for 8 weeks one-on-one. She's also a part of the Drop It family and the Drop It community, and she's going through the Common Sense Diet system while also working with me. I don't need to speak for her, so I'm just going to read you exactly what it is that she wrote. So this is starting week 8, starting weight 237, current weight 219. So that's 18 pounds in 8 weeks, which is right about where we want to be. And while I read this, unless you're driving, close your eyes and really imagine that this is you. So when I first started working with Lack Minnie, she's someone that had lost a shit ton of weight and then gained the weight back, but did so in pretty unsustainable methods that she knew she couldn't actually do forever. So after gaining the weight back, the appeal that she wanted to work with me was the focus on sustainability, which is actually what I'm here for. Listen to what she says and imagine this is you. I cannot believe how the weeks seem to be flying, as in some ways it feels like yesterday that I was so lost and overwhelmed. I keep rejoicing when I think about the fact that 8 weeks ago, I decided to be proactive and start this journey. If I had done nothing would have changed, and I would be for sure even heavier. And I'm so pleased to be able to really feel the changes. While I can only see a tiny difference in terms of the 18 pounds that I have released from my body, I feel very different physically and mentally, and this goes a long way for me. It is the fuel that helps me rinse and repeat every day. Just knowing I am day by day making progress and leaning into the feels. I have less cravings, a more positive mindset, more intentionality. I'm less inflamed and achy, and I have more vitality for each new day. I am eternally grateful for what we have here. It makes a huge difference to this type of support and accountability. Thank you for all your posts, videos, comments. It means the world to know I'm not alone with all of this and that you all understand the complexities and challenges of this experience and our communal mission for better health. It sounds like I wrote this. Excited to start a fresh week for tomorrow and continue to evict a pound or so while most importantly, prioritizing my health and incorporating more balance and harmony and making things sustainable. You can already see, this is the point where we start really rejoicing, is when you can see all of the mental switches that people make on the journey. So in the past, when Lack Minnie would lose weight, it would be all about the scale and how to get to our weight loss goal as fast as possible. And now Lack Minnie has completely changed her life. We're 8 weeks in, right? It took her 3 to 4 weeks or so to really get to the point where we built up this confidence and this knowing that she's changing who she is as a person and focusing on how she feels throughout the journey. So if you learn anything from Lack Minnie's story, though she's only 2 months into this journey, you can already predict with a pretty high degree that she is going to continue losing weight and actually keep the weight off, which is all that matters because weight loss is kind of a waste of time if it's not sustainable, right? And like Minnie's really leaning into the fact that the way you lose weight dictates how sustainable your results are. So if you can't do it for life, don't do it to lose weight. So she's in the common sense diet system, has adopted all of the mentality, and is working on things that she can actually do for her entire life. So like Minnie, congratulations. This podcast episode is dedicated to you. And this is just a really long-winded way of saying it's been so great working with you. You're such an inspiration to me and to the others in our community. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to guide you and see you all the way through to your goal sustainably and beyond. Now, the topic of today's podcast episode, this is episode 65 of the Drop It podcast. And the topic is Diet Coke. This is going to be one of the more controversial episodes we've had so far. And I don't even like saying that it's controversial because it bothers me that this is controversial. It's so ingrained as common sense into my mind that it actually feels not true to me to say that it is controversial, but it is. And a bunch of people listening to this are not going to agree with what I say. And that's totally okay, right? Something that I invite you to consider is what I'm speaking to you about is from the lens of sustainability. So all of the people that are listening to this, because this would have been me when I was fat, right? I would listen to myself talk about Diet Coke as a topic, and we're going to get into that. And I would be like, yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Diet Coke's fine. It's 0 calories. And I would think that while I was fat or while I was losing weight, but I was never looking at things from the lens of sustainability. So before we get into talking about the specifics of Diet Coke and 0 calorie alternatives, the reason why this matters and what you're going to get out of this episode is an understanding of how certain foods change the way that you feel, regardless of the calories, change your impact on what you eat, how you sleep, your hydration, how you feel throughout the day, and your other patterns and habits and caloric intake outside of the 0 or low calorie alternatives. So if you've ever leaned on 0 calorie like Diet Coke or low calorie, high protein ice cream type of alternatives, this is the episode that's going to change your life. And I learned this the hard way. Had I listened to this podcast episode, I would have never gained the weight back the first time I lost it. That's not true. I probably would have at least 3 or 4 times, but not 6. 6 was a lot. I know most of you listening have been there, probably even more so than I have. So here's a question for you. If you're on a weight loss journey, which all of you are, do you feel that it is better for you to drink 1 Diet Coke per day, so that's 7 Diet Cokes a week, or 1 regular Coke once per week? A regular Coke might have 250 or 300 calories. So you're losing weight or trying to lose weight. Does it make more sense to drink 7 Diet Cokes, which is 0 calories throughout the week, or to drink 1 regular Coke, which is about 250 or 300 calories throughout the week? Now, the 1 regular Coke has way more calories. Here is the biggest fucking difference. Diet Coke over time, drinking 0 calorie alternatives drastically changes the way that you feel and the things that you crave. And I see this came up in myself. This comes up with my clients who start working with me, and we go through this the hard way, right? The way that we work through cravings is we properly nourish our body with common sense foods, which are real, whole, natural foods most of the time, right? Here's what happens with Diet Coke. If you're eating a really great diet of mostly whole and natural foods, you drink Diet Coke, is extremely sweet, and your body is prepared to consume calories, but it doesn't. So Diet Coke has a really big impact on your body, thinking that it's going to have something to digest because you're getting this ultra sweet thing. And now there's nothing, literally 0 calories. You don't digest or hold on to anything in the Diet Coke, right? At least none of the nutrients. There's probably bullshit in there that you hold on to, but I don't dive too far into the science on that stuff because it's disinteresting and obsessive and creates an unhealthy relationship with food, or Diet Coke in this case. The problem is that we drink Diet Coke and it changes the things we eat afterwards. If you were to take a food journal, which I don't recommend food journaling unless you're in the first couple weeks of your program or of your work, it doesn't make sense to food journal and count calories and food forever. We know that that's obsessive and it's not something you can do for the rest of your life. But if you were to look at the days when you drank Diet Coke, you would see that you were probably overeating at other parts of the day without even recognizing it and without even realizing it. Right? So the first thing that I want to cover is that if you have a craving for Coke, like, ask yourself, like, do you really need the Coke, right? Or you're in a social situation where everybody's drinking Coke or whatever. Consider that if you were to just drink a regular Coke, that may be so much more satisfying to you than the Diet Coke that you don't then have cravings to overeat or binge later or feel like you deserve it. So that's what's physically happening, right? But outside of that, think about what Diet Coke does to your mindset. 0-calorie alternative, great. I have more calories to, I deserve to get my calories from other places. We can really step into the deserving mind and feel really good about drinking Diet Coke. But the reality with Diet Coke is seriously, I do not know a single healthy person. I'm not talking about a rail thin, skinny person, right? When we're fat, all we want to do is lose weight and be skinny. And I'm air quoting if you're not watching this on YouTube. That was my whole life. Diet Coke will get you skinny, potentially, right? But it's not going to get you healthy. Think about the healthy person that you want to be. Close your eyes and envision yourself as a healthy person walking through the sunshine with fitting clothes on, holding the hands of a beautiful person of the opposite sex or same sex or however you fucking roll is totally fine. Or your current partner, and they're healthy now too because you've led them through this journey by taking care of yourself, right? And you're walking, smiling, saying hi to people, petting dogs. Do you have a Diet Coke in your hand? Like, no, you don't, right? And we do not. There are very few people that are truly healthy that are regularly drinking Diet Coke or regularly doing any sort of low-calorie alternatives. But we're going to get more into that here in just a second. And the reason why is because common sense, we just know that it's not that fucking good for us. There's a difference between low-calorie and healthy. Low-calorie and healthy are not the same. And this is not a low-calorie diet. This is a fucking a way of thinking for your mind. This is a recreating your life and recreating your relationship to the things that you're putting in your body. If you're slugging regular Cokes every day and soft drinks, which a lot of people are, right? So anyone that's drinking 3 Coca-Colas per day, will you feel better and lose weight if you switch to 3 Diet Cokes per day? Like, yes, you're going to be caffeinated as fuck, but of course you're going to lose weight and you're going to feel better because you're going to be losing weight, but you're not actually addressing the root of the issue. The root of the issue is why are you drinking 3 diet or regular Cokes in a day? Because I don't know any healthy people that do that. The people that I see that are doing that, there's two takes on Diet Coke specifically, right? When you're scrolling on Instagram, you'll see bodybuilders or, these quote unquote health gurus that are like, Diet Coke is killing you and the chemicals in Diet Coke are going to give you cancer and all this other shit and don't drink the tap water or whatever, right? But then you have the complete opposite side of the spectrum, which is always people that are losing weight right now or people that were never fat. I've never seen someone say this that has lost a significant amount of weight, let's say 70 plus pounds, and kept it off for a significant amount of time, let's say 3 years. Never heard anybody say this before that came from that lens. And that's the lens that you actually want to adopt because that's what you're looking to accomplish, right? That was what I was looking to accomplish and did, and it was through this way of thinking and recognizing that healthy people don't do this. But the other people online that are losing weight now, taking into account that most people don't keep the weight off, which is sad because I want everyone to keep the fucking weight off. They make fun of the people that say Diet Coke is killing them. And they'll be like drinking Diet Coke on the treadmill for a funny, controversial reel, or like drinking Diet Coke on a walk and being like, I'm still lost 2.4 pounds this week. It's like, yeah, but why are you not just drinking fucking water? Because I like Diet Coke. Yeah, but I like to feel good in my body. Like, what do you like more, Diet Coke or the concept of not having cravings? The same people that make the content making fun of Diet Coke or making fun of the people that say Diet Coke is bad for you and they drink it while they're working out. And a lot of them are 50, 100, 200 pounds overweight, right? Really big people, which is fucking fine. That was me too, right? So anyone can say that, it's me. That being said, they're losing weight drinking Diet Cokes every day. They used to drink Cokes. Now they're drinking Diet Coke so they feel better. They're losing weight. They still got the caffeine or whatever. They're also making the content about cravings. And, I have a craving. Here's how I'm working through the craving. I wanted to binge eat. Had a small binge. Here's how I recovered because I overate. What they don't understand because they haven't lived through the hardship of seeing the journey all the way through and then reflecting on it, which is fucking fine, right? This was my whole life. Again, I wish that I could tell these people and my old self, because that literally was me, that when you just stop drinking 0-calorie alternatives or eating low-calorie alternatives all the time, you're not going to have the same cravings because your body's going to be actually nourished and will start associating flavor with proper nourishment. That's what the common sense diet is. It's about eating real, natural foods. There's no reason to be drinking Diet Cokes or regular Cokes, right? I'm not an advocate for either of them. And I'm not an advocate. The common sense diet has nothing to do with completely cutting shit out or white knuckling shit. But there is a reality that there is almost no situation where it makes sense to be drinking Coke. And this is where it gets, you need to get to the point where you use your own best judgment. After I lost weight, I was never a big Coke drinker. I went at least 3 years unintentionally never drinking a soft drink. And whenever I was around people drinking soft drinks, I would just get a water, right? The 9th rule of the common sense diet is eat mom's apple pie when she makes it. What that means is that when you're in a celebratory situation, eat celebratory foods. If you're at your kid's pizza party, eat a piece of pizza, right? You don't not eat the pizza because you're on a diet. Your mom's making you apple pie for Christmas. Eat a piece of your mom's apple pie. You don't say, sorry, mom, I'm on a diet. That's you being controlled by your diet, and your mom's probably going to smack you in the face, right? My mom would have. Not really. If she's listening to this, I'd have to caveat that by saying, just kidding, mom. That all being said, there's almost no situation where you will be celebrating with Diet Coke. There's almost no situation where not drinking a Coke or a Diet Coke or a soft drink is going to impact you socially. There's always other options outside of Diet Coke, literally every single time that I've ever seen it. Every barbecue, every fast food place, every restaurant. It wasn't weird for me to not get a Diet Coke. It's weird for you to go out to brunch with your friends but not eat breakfast because you're fasting, right? And close your eyes and try to visualize your healthy self is not slugging Diet Cokes all the time. So stop trying to lose weight. Stop thinking about how many calories are in Diet Coke versus regular Coke. And I invite you and challenge you and encourage you to consider the healthiest version of you. What are they eating and drinking throughout the day? And you're going to find that Diet Coke is not that thing. So why not just stop now? Doesn't mean that Diet Coke is going to kill you. The last couple of years, I have had probably one Diet Coke every 6 months because I just really wanted it. It was 110 degrees and humid outside and I just finished swimming, or because I was really tired and needed just a little bit of caffeine. And I'm not really much of a coffee drinker. So it doesn't mean you can't ever drink Diet Coke, but you have to be brutally honest with yourself and ask yourself, why are you drinking it? Well, I'm drinking Diet Coke because it's better than Coke. Great. Why are you not drinking water? Like, really ask yourself, why are you not drinking water? If you drink more water, you're going to, I'm sounding like a broken record. I even feel in myself the rantiness and the broken recordness of me saying the same thing 5 times in different ways in the last 10 minutes. It just will change your life. It's going to completely change your life if you're drinking a Diet Coke every day to stop drinking the Diet Cokes. And I wish someone told me, because all of the diet world and the concept is just focused on the calories and they're not focused on the quality of the food or the lack of quality of the food, regardless of the calories. And this bleeds over into more than just Diet Coke. It bleeds over into 0-calorie alternatives. The famous one is, instead of eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, which is like 1,200 calories, why not just go get a Halo Top or some low-calorie, high-protein ice cream for like 300 calories, like a quarter of the calories? That's a great swap. That's a great alternative if your goal is to lose weight. That's not a great alternative if your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle and feel really great day to day. It's just not. Again, it doesn't mean you can't ever eat it. The question becomes, why are you eating it? And if you're eating it because it's lower calorie than the bullshit you used to eat before, that's not really going to work. It's going to work for you to lose weight, but you're going to feel depleted. Your body is going to think that you're getting more calories than you are because of all the 0-calorie sweeteners. Again, 0-calorie sweeteners are not going to kill you. They just make you have more cravings. They do. And anyone that doesn't believe me, because I will get a lot of messages of people telling me to fuck off and that I'm wrong. And I just invite anyone, because that would have been me, right? So no judgment towards you. If that's what you're feeling when I say this, just try it for 1 week and just see. And if I'm wrong, send me I will, on the next episode that I record, will read your message to me that I was wrong. Include that you drink Diet Coke regularly and have regular cravings. If you do, then this is applicable to you. And go 7 days of not drinking Diet Coke, but instead nourishing yourself with real foods, and see how that impacts you on the scale and see how that impacts your cravings. You do that for 7 days. Send me even an audio telling me that I'm wrong, and I'll post the audio in episode 66 or 67 of this podcast. That's how confidently I believe that you will see a change in your cravings, in the way that you feel about food and the way that you think about food. This is a lot of what leads to food noise, is 0-calorie and low-calorie alternatives. Eat real food. Rule number 3 of the common sense diet is prioritize real food. not 0-calorie alternatives. There's a time and a place. Drinking a Diet Coke every once in a while is not a big deal. But if you like Coca-Cola more than Diet Coke, and you're in a position where you're just deciding, it's been weeks since I've had a soft drink, just drink the real one. Just drink the actual Coca-Cola so you're not sitting there going, man, that didn't really do it for me. Do it for you. Instead of opting for the low-calorie, high-protein ice cream, eat the real ice cream. Just do it. Let yourself indulge and let yourself taste every single bite and imagine making love to that fucking ice cream and like chewing it and like tasting the granularity of each little grain of sugar and each little tiny little salt grain in the ice cream, each little tiny piece of chocolate and caramel filling. Like really taste it. What you're going to find is that when you do that, you're not going to overeat the pint of Ben & Jerry's the way that you did before. The solution, what a lot of us do is we overeat regularly on bullshit. So we say, I'm going to keep overeating, but on things that are not as bullshit, like lower calorie alternatives. We're not addressing the issue of overeating. We're only addressing the issue of calories. And that's the same thing with Diet Coke. I drink too many Cokes, so let's switch to Diet Coke. Not addressing the root of the problem. If you do not address the root of the problem, you will always gain the weight back every single time because you're not going to be forever satisfied with low-calorie alternatives. Again, time and a place, but it is not the sustainable solution. Here's some things that you can try, right? If you're a big ice cream guy, I was a pint a day or makes me sound like a fucking drinker. Well, I was a drinker too, but that's a different topic. You're doing a pint of ice cream every day. And then you go, okay, I'm going to switch, keep doing a pint today, but now I'm going to do my low-calorie ones. Stop doing that. A low-calorie pint of ice cream might be 300 calories, right? Instead, take Greek yogurt, a full cup, put a tablespoon of honey in there, and put in some frozen blueberries. And mix that up. It's going to take you a couple days to get used to eating real sugar, meaning non-extracted, unprocessed, natural sugar in its natural form. It's not going to taste the best on the first day. By the second or the third day, you're going to start feeling like it's just a bullshit version of ice cream. If you want to make it chocolate, mix a little cacao or cocoa powder in there and pick a different fruit. You get flavor fatigue, any other fruit. Switch the honey for maple syrup for agave. Like any of those for date syrup. You got 4 options there. You got 10 different fruits you can put in there. Try full-fat Greek yogurt versus non-fat Greek yogurt. I like full-fat more. That bowl is going to be about 350 calories. Which is more calories than your low-calorie, high-protein pint of ice cream, but it's going to make you feel amazing. What I mean by amazing is full, satiated, not having cravings afterwards, and energized with no crash because you're getting a lot of fiber. So you're not having a blood sugar spike that comes from eating a low-calorie, high-protein pint of ice cream, right? And fake sugar, meaning like the xanthol or whatever it's called, xanthan type of sugar. I'm totally butchering the name of this. The stevia type of sugars, the fake sugar, the sugar alcohol, that's what I'm looking for. The sugar alcohol that they put in ice cream is not going to spike your blood sugar level, but it is going to taste like sugar, which is going to make your body prepare to take on a bunch of high calorie foods, and then it's just not actually going to happen. You're going to be hungry. Every single fucking time. Just log how you feel after you do these, and then try instead the bullshit version of ice cream and see how you feel afterwards and see how much more energy you have. This has been a ranty episode. Very, very hot topic. Totally understand where everyone's coming from when they're switching to Diet Coke to try to lose weight. You don't actually want to lose weight. What you want is freedom from having to ever think about losing weight or being fat ever again. Diet Coke and low-calorie alternatives are the solution to losing weight. Whole and natural foods and a lot less low-calorie alternatives are the solution to sustainably losing weight. The people that disagree with that are people that typically were never fat in the first place, or people that have not actually lost weight and kept it off for an extended period of time, meaning that they're still losing weight right now. Again, it doesn't mean that there's not an exception to this rule. There probably is somewhere that I just haven't seen or haven't met them, but the exceptions do not define the rule. This is the reality for 99% of people. The sooner that you adopt this mentality, the sooner you'll start feeling better and feeling like energized enough to actually lose weight and keep the weight off and stop having cravings and thinking about fucking food all the time. Because when you do that, you're going to have a lot more mental energy to put into figuring out what it is you actually want for your life, and a lot more energy into putting towards the things that you actually care about, or finding things that you care about outside of just weight loss and obsessing about the number on the scale, because you're going to have so much more energy and confidence. You deserve that. And this is a part of what the common sense diet system is. If you made it to the end of the podcast episode, it doesn't mean you can't ever drink Diet Coke again. I've had a couple of them in the last year, and it's not a big deal. I'm also very properly nourished, right? So pay attention to how nourished are you. Let's not drink Diet Coke or low-calorie alternatives for the sake of weight loss. If it's the only thing that we have, then let's still do it. But let's not go out of our way to make decisions on weight loss around foods that are not nutrient dense and don't make us feel good after we drink them. If you want to work with me, and like Minnie, who I read her 8-week update at the very beginning, in either a one-on-one or a group capacity, currently have a couple openings for both that may change within the next 2 weeks or so. Go ahead and click the link in the description of this podcast episode, and that will take you straight to a short form to fill out. That will take you straight to a calendar to book a call with me if you do qualify. And to qualify, you had to have been someone that's lost weight before and then gained it back. You have to be over 25 years old, and you have to not currently be diagnosed with binge eating disorder from a doctor. And that's for my own legal safety. Though a lot of people like myself in the past are walking around with undiagnosed binge issues. So I've been there, and that makes total sense too. You also have to be willing to focus on lifestyle changes and practice showing up for yourself in ways outside of just food. So if you're ready to make it happen, go ahead and fill out that form. You're going to get on a call with me, not with some like cheesy hired salesperson. It will literally be me. And I'll walk you through exactly what it is that I did and that I now do for other people. And we can see if it's right for you and if it's right for the both of us. And if it is, then we're going to put this shit behind us forever. And if it's not, and you just want to keep listening to the podcast, that's totally fine too. And I really appreciate you being a listener. Please leave us a review either on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, wherever you're listening. Really helps us to get this message out to other people that would really benefit. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight, and you absolutely have what it takes to keep the weight off forever. Look at yourself in the mirror and say it again and again and again. The key is to focus on the quality of what you're putting into your body more so than the calories. Of course, the calories still matter, but so does the quality. See y'all next week.